In this video, I will show you my secret for keeping my energy up all day long after years of searching and testing different methods. But here's the thing, it's not a matter of habits or motivation, because just to be clear, the secret formula, it's all in your head. That's why you need first to understand the psychology behind why some days you have energy and the other days you are completely drained. And once you get that, I can share with you the 3 keys I use to keep my energy up all along the day. So then you can use them too. And I swear if you apply all of these, your energy levels are going crazy. There are 2 pillars you need to understand if you want to keep your energy up. The first pillar, based on psychology, is here to make you unlock your brain's potential. That means we will explore the reason why you are not able to always feel energized. The second pillar are keys because knowing the theory is one thing, but applying it is another. So I will share these 3 solutions I discovered. And I'm telling you, I made a lot of mistakes that I hope you can avoid with this video. But by the way, you need all of these 3 to start getting your results. So make sure you stay until the end to learn all 3. Let me tell you something most people don't realize. And honestly, once I understood this, it's flipped the way I approach my entire day. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between what is real and what you imagine. Like literally. From a neurological standpoint, imagining something activates the same neural pathways as experiencing the same thing in real life. So you have to know that I used to wake up already exhausted. Before I even got out of bed, my mind was racing. And I noticed something even strange. Even on a day when I had nothing urgent going on, I still felt like I was carrying the weight of the world. Why? Because my brain didn't care if those stressful events were happening now, later, or maybe never. It's just respond to the thoughts, and just like that, my energy was gone. There is a famous study in neuroscience where researchers look at athletes and piano players. They had one group actually practicing physically, and another group just imagined practicing in their mind. Guess what? The brain activity was nearly identical. In some cases, the people who only visualized improved almost as much as those who physically trained. That's how powerful your mind is. Your brain treats vivid imagination like lived experience. If you're constantly imagining stress, failure, or pressure, even subconsciously, your body will respond as if it's happening. But here's the good news, this works both ways. If your brain reacts to imagination the same ways as reality, then you can use that to fuel your energy instead of drain it. Think about the time you crushed a task, finished a workout, or hit a big win. Try visualizing that moment right now, how your body felt, the energy in your chest, your posture, your focus, feel it. That's your brain creating energy from imagination. You are not moving, nothing has happened, but the body is already responding to the picture in your head. That's why athletes visualize before games, because your mind is the control center and most of us are letting it just run on autopilot. So when we talk about energy, it's not just food or sleep or maybe movement. It's the story you are playing in your mind on repeat. The what if I mess this up? The I'm already behind. The I can't do this today. Your brain heard that and respond with a protective mechanism. It starts basically to conserve your energy. And that's why you feel drained, distracted, or sluggish, even if you had 8 hours of sleep. So what do you do now? In the next section, I'll give you the 3 keys I use to take back control. Simple tools that help me interrupt those mental loops and shift into a state where your mind produces energy instead of leaking it. And like I said, you need all 3 to change everything in your life. But before that, remember this. If you can change the story in your head, you can change the state of your body. And that's where real energy begins. So let's start with the first key. And honestly, this won't change everything for me. I created a morning mental script, not affirmation, not fake hype, but a few grounded, energized thoughts I repeat each morning. I don't need to feel 100% to take the first step. My energy grows when I move toward clarity. Let's just start. Momentum will do the rest. This teeny shift changed the tone of my mornings completely. I wasn't dragging myself through tasks anymore. I was actually leaning into them. It's like telling your brain, hey, we have got these. So if you want more energy, start by rewriting that inner conversation. Start your day by feeding your brains a story that gives it permission to generate energy, not suppress it. It sounds simple, and it is, but it's powerful, and this is just the beginning. Alright, once I start shifting my internal narrative and understanding how my thoughts were draining me, I expect my energy to magically stay high all the day. It didn't. Because here's what I learned next. Even if your mind is in the right place, you can still burn out if you are constantly working against your natural energy instead of working with it. Let me explain. For years, I'd wake up and try to jump straight into deep work, writing, planning, and building. But I noticed something weird. I'd sit there staring at the screen, reading the same sentence, getting frustrated with myself for not being on. So I'd try to push harder, more coffee, more willpower, and sometimes I'd finally break through after an hour, but by that time I was already mentally tired before I even made a progress. Eventually I asked myself, what if the problem isn't me, but when I'm doing things? We are always taught to manage time, but nobody talks about managing energy. And that's a huge mistake because your brain doesn't operate at full capacity 24/7. It has a rhythm. There is something called the ultradian rhythm. It's like a wave your body and your brain naturally follow through the day. It runs in 90 to 120-minute cycles, where you go from high energy and focus to a dip, where your body asks for rest or recovery. If you try to push through those dips, your brain pushes back with fatigue, distraction, or burnout. Once I learned that, I started tracking when I actually felt the most clear, most creative, and most focused. Turned out for me, it wasn't first thing in the morning, it was late morning, like 10:30 to 1 p.m., and again in the early evening around 6 p.m. So instead of fighting that, I started scheduling my hard work during those peak windows. Creative work, decision making, strategy, all of that went into my power block. Everything else, email, admin, scrolling, I pushed that into my low energy slot. And the difference was insane for me. Here's something you can do. For just 3 days, write down the following every 2-3 hours. How energized do I feel? Scale 1 on 10. What kind of task am I naturally gravitating toward? 1 on 10. Am I forcing myself or flowing? 1 on 10. After 3 days, patterns start to show. You will see your natural rhythm, and once you know that, you can align the right task with the right time, which make productivity feel effortless instead of exhausting. This key changed the way I saw myself because I used to think I was inconsistent or undisciplined or just not like those high energy people online. But that wasn't it all. I was just working against my rhythm, trying to squeeze high focus work into low energy hours and beating myself up when it didn't work. When you align your task with your natural energy flow, everything changes. You stop burning willpower on basic stuff, you feel more momentum, you even recover faster from the work you do because you're not pushing against resistance to the whole time. So you don't need to feel energized all day long. That's not realistic and honestly not necessary. What you need is to protect and use your peak energy momentum wisely. So key two is stop trying to force energy, start align your task with the energy you already have. That's what the most productive people in the world are really doing. They are not working more, they're working in a rhythm. Here is a harsh truth I had to learn the hard way. You don't wait for energy to move, you move to create energy. I used to think I had to feel energized before I could work, exercise, or do anything meaningful. But over time, I realized that model is completely backwards. Let me take you back a few years ago. I was working from home, trying to build my business, and I hit this place where I felt tired all the time. I was sleeping decent hour, I was eating okay, and I wasn't particularly stressed. But every time I sat down to work, my body felt like it was filled with sand. So I did what most people do. I kept waiting, waiting for energy to hit me, waiting for that spark of motivation, waiting for the coffee to kick in and get me going. But it didn't. One day I got so frustrated that I just stood up in the middle of the work block and started pacing around the room. No headphone, no agenda, just walking in circles. And something strange happened within minutes. I felt more awake, not just physically but mentally. Ideas started flowing. I felt more present, more alert. It was like flipping a switch. That's your brain motivation chemical. When you move, especially through dynamic rhythmic motion, you send message to your brain that it's time to engage, not shut down. And here's the key part. You don't need a full workout, you just need to move. A 5-minute walk, stretching your arms, doing 10 squats between tasks, even just standing up and breathing deeply can interrupt the brain fog loop. There was a fascinating study where researchers compare the effect of low intensity movement like walking on a treadmill for 10 minutes against caffeine, and guess what? The walking group reported more sustained energy, better mood, and sharp focus through the day without the crash. Meanwhile, the caffeine group felt a quick spike but drop off fast and need more to get up. That told me everything I needed to know. You know that feeling when you are stuck in your head, overthinking, procrastinating, movement, break that loop. Even just shifting your physical state tells your brain we are not stuck, we are moving. It's unlock clarity, reset your focus, and give you momentum, which is actually more valuable than motivation. Because here is a big mindset shift. Motivation doesn't create movement, movement creates motivation. Once I understood this, I stopped waiting for energy and start adding motion into my workflow. I start every work session with a 3-minute walk or stretch. I added movement breaks after every 90 minutes of focus, even just standing outside. When I hit a mental wall, instead of trying to push harder, I do 20 jumping jack or put the podcast for 2 minutes. The result, more focus, more consistency, more energy, especially during the time I used to feel dead. If you are always waiting to feel ready, you are giving your power away. Key 3 is about reclaiming it. Don't treat energy like a mystery, treat it like a system. Movement isn't optional, it's the on switch. And the best part, you don't need to do more, you just need to move better. So next time you feel stuck, tired, foggy, don't sit and wait. Move your body and your brain will follow. So let's bring it home. If you ever told yourself, I'm just not the energetic person, I want you to throw that idea out because what we have talked about today prove the opposite. Energy isn't something you are born with, it's something you build. Key 1, rewrite your inner dialogue because your thought create your reality and the reality tells your body how to feel. Key 2s, align your task with your natural energy rhythm so you can stop fighting yourself and start flowing. Key 3, use movement as a trigger, not a reward, because motion creates motivation, not the other way. You don't need more, you need to manage your mind, your rhythm, and your motion. And when you do that, energy stops being something you chase, it's become something you control. So pick one of these keys today, test it, feel the shift, and once you do, come back, try the next one. So stay sharp and tell me in the comment which key you will use at first, and I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you.